Welcome to this week's episode of The Traveling Queen, where we're continuing to explore Tucson, Arizona. You might recall from a previous video that for this trip I was staying at a location I found on Hip Camp called the Iron Quail Ranch. I thought I'd take a minute and I'd show you my setup for when I fly into locations and I do car camping, otherwise known as SUV RVing. Alright, so for this trip I did some car camping, so I rented, I guess it's kind of a mid-size SUV. So I had done some research on some of the ones that Hertz had in their fleet, and Ford Edge, GMC Terrain, so all of them, the rear seats fold flat, and so that's what I was looking for. So I wound up getting the GMC Terrain, and so I have my mattress. It's just an Amazon mattress. It pumps up, it's got the built-in foot pump, and my summer sleeping bag, which was a mistake because temperatures dropped into the 40s, and so it froze my butt off last night, but it's okay, it's all part of the experience. I wound up packing 2 carry-ons for this trip because I flew out to Phoenix from North Carolina, and so the one suitcase has all my camping gear in it, and then the other one has all my clothes in it. I originally had everything in one suitcase, but it was overweight, and so I would have paid $100 for the overweight bag, but having 2 carry-ons, so I have the American Airlines credit card, so I get one checked bag free, and to add the second one was only $45, so doing 2 smaller bags actually saved me some money. I was going to do one as the carry-on, but I decided $45 was worth not having to deal with the hassle of it. So all I did then over here is just I always hang my towel and wash rag on the hook so it can dry. I use the top of the suitcase as kind of my nightstand. And then just hang my dirty clothes bag in the back, and the front seat has got my hiking backpack, and that's my temporary weekend setup. Oh, and the goats are starting to make some noise. That's so cute. Staying at Iron Quail Ranch, there was unobstructed views of the sunrise as well as the sunset, and both were equally beautiful. When I got up this morning, I decided to walk around the campground and see all that it had to offer. They have 2 sites, the one that I was in, which is set up for tent camping or a small RV, and then they have a second site that it would accommodate a larger RV, whether it's a pull-behind or a Winnebago type vehicle. There's also an outdoor kitchen that guests are able to use as well. Iron Quail Ranch is a self-sustaining ranch, so you may have noticed in some of the pictures the rain catchment systems that they have in place. They also get all of their electricity from solar, and some of the food comes from the ranch as well. And so one of the amenities you can add on is for their breakfast, where they will cook you eggs that come from the chickens on the ranch. There's pancakes, which are made from goat milk from the goats on the ranch, as well as they add in mesquite from the mesquite trees. So when the buds, right before the buds drop, they harvest them and then they mix that into the pancake mix. The only thing that did not come from the ranch was the bacon. But all in all, it was a very delicious breakfast. For today's adventure, we're west of Tucson, west of the Tucson Mountains, west of Saguaro National Park. We are in the Ironwood Forest National Monument. This area is part of BLM, Bureau of Land Management, and it spans 129,000 acres, and it protects one of the richest stands of ironwood trees in the Sonoran Desert. The area we're going to be exploring is the Cocoraque Butte area, which is specifically known for petroglyphs. We're going to see if we can find some. The entrance to Ironwood Forest National Monument was not too far from Iron Quail Ranch, just a short drive down the road. One of the things about entering onto BLM is a lot of times you will find cattle gates that you need to open to enter. Just make sure to close the gate behind you. BLM lands have a series of dirt roads that you can traverse on to explore. They vary in the degree of maintenance for them, and so some you do need high clearance, some you will need 4-wheel drive, others with just a regular sedan you can navigate on them just fine. Be sure to do your research before you start navigating off the main highways onto BLM lands. Even when you do your research though, sometimes you still come across some surprises. Even with all of my research, I came across a washed out area and wound up having to park the vehicle and walk in the rest of the way. 100%, I would say you need a high clearance vehicle to come through here. And we got some free range cows over here. Yeah, so it got to this point here, and yep, the car just cannot go any further. Maybe if I had a four-wheel drive and if it was my vehicle and not a rental, I might have tried it, but yeah. Unfortunately, that GMC Terrain was not going to do this. I parked the vehicle where you see the pink star and wound up walking in instead of driving into the start of the hike. It was a beautiful day, so I really did not mind the walk. It wasn't bad. The road, once I got past the washout area, was just a hard-packed, sandy road that I was walking on. Once I got to the start of the hike, it did become a little bit more looser sand, which is a little bit harder to walk in, but overall, still an easy hike. The hike itself is a short 1.2-mile hike out and back with a 72-foot elevation gain. And what we're aiming for was the hill to the right, and we were looking for a dead mesquite tree is where we were supposed to find these petroglyphs. Along the hike into the petroglyphs, I did see some of the cholla cactus, which are otherwise known as the jumping cactus or jumping cholla, because it does appear that they jump off and will cling to you, and when you try to get them off, the spines will stick in you even more. And so it's recommended that you carry a fine-tooth comb that you can use to pull the little cactus ball off of you if it should get stuck in you. Thankfully, I didn't get any stuck on me on this hike. Once you get to the base of the hill, it's pretty much just a make your own path and rock scramble up to the top, eyeballing and getting to that dead mesquite tree. When I reached the mesquite tree at the top of the hill, it was 360-degree views of different mountain ranges. I could look for miles and see saguaro cactus dotting the landscape. I was even able to see Ironwood Ranch and see where I had parked the car at the start of the hike. The Tucson mountain range that we're looking at now in the Sonoran National Park is where I'm going to be hiking on my next hike. Once at the top of the hill, it's a fun scavenger hunt to try and find all the petroglyphs that you can. And of course, since this was a solo trip, I set up the tripod to get some pictures at the top of the hill. After a short break and a quick snack, it was time to make my way back to the car while picking up my trekking poles that I had ditched at the bottom of the hill. I'm still amazed at the size of the saguaro cactus. I'll show some more on these on my next adventure in Sonoran National Park. I didn't know whether I should name this saguaro cactus T-Rex or Perky. Total hike wound up being about 5 miles. When I got back to the car, I got myself cleaned up with a desert shower. No, I did not record that. And then it was off to get myself some dinner before heading to my final adventure of the night. For dinner, I was in search of the El Sinaloense hot dog cart, where I wanted to get a Sonoran hot dog, a Tucson regional food that I've been hearing a lot about. The hot dog cart was a step above what I was used to when I was thinking of a hot dog cart. They had a nice little canopy area with picnic tables underneath. The Sonoran hot dog originated in Hermosillo, which is the capital of the Mexican state of Sonora. It's a hot dog that you find kind of in the Tucson area, northwestern areas of Mexico. And so what is a Sonoran hot dog? So a Sonoran hot dog is a bacon-wrapped hot dog. It's topped with pinto beans, diced tomatoes, onions. It has mayo and a jalapeno salsa on it, and it is served on a Mexican-style bun called a bolillo roll. This roll was absolutely amazing. The best I can describe it is it tastes almost like pancakes, but with a little bit different of a texture, more like a roll-like texture, and it was absolutely delicious. For my final adventure of the night, I head over to Catalina United Methodist Church in downtown Tucson for an Intro to Organ masterclass given by Anna Lapwood. Anna is a British organist, a choir director, and she's also a television and radio presenter. She started to reach a wider audience with her social media once she was appointed as an associate artist at the Royal Albert Hall in London in 2022. She's recently left her position as the choir director, and she's now focusing on her performing career. During the masterclass, Anna gave us a brief glimpse into what we'd be hearing tomorrow night at the concert. Honestly, the recording does not do it justice. I strongly encourage you to Google her, look her up on social media, listen to some of her recordings, and if you have a chance, go see her live. Anna is such a humble, down-to-earth, funny, vivacious woman, and she took the time after the masterclass to speak with each person there. I had a 4-part harmony that I wrote 30 years ago in college, and I was asking her for some advice on how you would write it for organ and how you would supplement using the foot pedals. And what she did next took me by surprise.
And then you play the bass line with your feet. Sorry, that wasn't right, was it? Yeah, so you would probably do that.
Oh my god, that was amazing.
It's sort of right. When did you write this?
Like 30 years ago in college. Oh
you
my
still
god.
have it?
And I've only
So after fangirling for a bit, I asked her to autograph the sheet music since she's been the only other person to play it besides me. As I was driving back to the campsite, I was able to watch the sunset behind the mountains. I got back just in time to see the last little bit disappear. All in all, it was a great adventure this day. Thanks for joining me on this episode of The Traveling Queen. Be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. And remember, get out there and explore, adventure, and roam the world.